Before they were called Christians, there was a story. Before the denominations, before the arguments, there was a Jewish Messiah. Jesus was Jewish, his scripture was Jewish, his disciples were Jewish, his story was rooted in a place and a people, Israel. It began in Jerusalem, a sect of Judaism. It moved to Greece, becoming a philosophy. It moved to Rome, becoming an institution. And in that move, something shifted. The church began to define itself against its own roots, not privately, officially. Church fathers preached against the Jews, loudly, repeatedly. It moved to Europe, becoming a culture. And that culture built walls. We built our faith on a Jewish Messiah, then persecuted his people. Over the centuries, we added theological names to this forgetting. Supersessionism, replacement theology. For some, this was too crude, too obvious, so the language needed to change. Fulfillment theology, inclusion theology, softer, more biblically justified, but proof texts that dissolved the scriptural particularity of this people had real consequences. No matter the time or the name, rejection of the Jews was the result, and history has shown us where that road leads. The story that says Israel's role is over, the promises have changed hands, the family has been replaced. Because if promises made to one people can simply disappear, can any of God's promises truly be trusted? But what if the story is wrong? Replace replacement. Today, Israel is a headline, a controversy, a debate, a hashtag. But before it became a media argument, a political argument, or a social media argument, there was a deeper question. What is God's heart? History never echoes exactly, but hatred learns. Different names and arguments, but the result is the same. The Jews were always the scapegoats, for the Romans in 135, and the Spanish in 1492. The nations carrying out the pogroms had no confusion who were the target. The Nazis knew exactly. And even after we said, never again, the Jews throughout the Middle East were targeted. So they left. They went to their only safe haven. No one has ever been confused who this people were. History remembers. Once again, Jewish people are being blamed, caricatured, threatened, isolated. The language is different, the platforms are different, the slogans are different, but the old hatred wears new clothes. What do we actually believe about the Jewish people? When we say it's all about Jesus, do we remember he is the Jewish Messiah? What if the questions themselves are the beginning? To ask difficult questions, to face hard truths, to recover forgotten roots, to rediscover the Jewish Jesus, and to replace it with the full truth of Scripture. Before the United States of America even existed, English Puritans were praying for Jewish return to their homeland. The Wesleys held this longing. Spurgeon preached it. The desire for Israel and salvation. It was simply the Bible, read plainly. Because if we have been grafted in, then we are not spectators. We are family. And when family is threatened, silence is not neutrality. Silence is failure. Our conversation today is not about taking a trending stance. It is not about winning an argument. It is about biblical truth, memory, courage. It is about refusing to edit the Bible to suit the mood of the age. The question is no longer, what do we think? The question is, what will we do? And what will you do? Be not silent. I have posted watchmen on your walls, Jerusalem. This time must be different.